pessoal, hoje eu vou trazer um vídeo super diferente aqui no canal pra vocês, porque eu estou simplesmente no Centro de Convenções Sul América do Rio, onde está acontecendo uma convenção de skins, isso mesmo. Se você veio aqui por causa do meu vídeo de skins, gente, eu não falei mal de skins, só quero deixar claro, eu amo skins e é por isso que eu tô nesse evento. E é por isso que eu tô nesse evento, pra conhecer o Joey, a Lily e o Mitch. E aqui a gente vai ver painel, vai ter foto, vai ter entrevista também, então não vai faltar conteúdo pra vocês que adoram skins.
Fan of your work since skins. We really like you in Game of Thrones too.
Oh, thanks very much. So, you know, I think it's just amazing with both of those TV shows. It's you know, you never really know what you're letting yourself in for as an actor, and then to know that it's so popular and all around the world. And amazing. It's amazing that skins are so big over here in Brazil, and it has been from day one really. So for 10 years now since we made it, skins has been huge over here, and it's incredible for us.
How are you? Fine.
Yeah?
Are you enjoying?
Yeah, it's lovely. Everyone's so nice.
Love your accent.
My accent?
Yeah.
Really?
You too.
Thank you. No one ever says that about my accent.
Yeah.
Try my accent? No. Not in England.
Look different.
I look different?
Yeah.
Because you can see, like, when I have different hair, my hair, I look different.
Very different.
And when I have a beard, I look like a different person. It's good though, because what I can do is say I play a role, I can change my hair and then nobody notices me. So I can go eat food in a restaurant. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Probably one of my fondest memories would be my first day on set, just because I'd never acted before.
I want to know who's your favorite character from the first generation?
From the first series?
Yes.
Chris. I wanted to be Chris.
But don't tell Joe. Don't tell Joe.
What was your reaction when you knew that Chris was going to die?
It was strange actually, because between seasons 1 and 2 on Skins, the producers wanted to talk to all of us individually about what the plan was for season 2, where their characters were gonna, where the story was gonna take them, and just so we all had a bit of an idea of what to expect. By complete chance, I couldn't have my meeting I couldn't arrange it until everyone else had had theirs. I was busy. So everyone else had been told, oh, by the way, Chris is gonna die at the end of series 2. But don't tell Joe, because we want to tell Joe ourselves, we want to tell him face to face. They all told me. Like the minute they got out there, the meeting, they rang me, they're like, do you know that your character's going to die? And I was a little bit upset, actually. I just felt, it was a bit of a selfish thing for me, really. I just thought I thought they were going to carry on with the same cast, and that I was going to have to leave and all my friends were going to get to go back the year after and do another series together in Bristol, and I was going to be left out of that. I found out that everyone was getting sacked anyway, so I thought, oh great.
What was your first reaction when you found out that Naomi was going to die in the series?
My first reaction was, really? But you have to respect writers' wishes and you have to respect the story that they've chosen to give in you. I wasn't happy, but you can't always expect to be happy about the storyline.
What was the funniest moment you had or situation that happened to you in the set?
Oh wow, what I did, I can't speak for everybody else. Not just one time, but many times kind of living the life that those guys were, like partying, sometimes having a little too much to drink the night before set. But sometimes those red eyes that we had were real.
What's your favorite episode in Skins?
I like the series 1, episode 1. That's my favorite because I thought I love all those characters. It was really funny. And that's the one where the car falls in the river, right? I just thought it was hilarious, and it was like a big, massive explosion into the new series. There was nothing boring about it. I just thought, oh my god, what is this show? I have to watch it.
I wanted to know why did you decide to audition to Skins?
It's an interesting question. I was, unlike quite a lot of the other cast members, I had actually done a couple of things acting-wise before. I was in a drama workshop for young people I grew up in a town called Nottingham, which is sort of in the middle of England. And it was at that, I actually met Jack O'Connell at that workshop. We were just kids, really. And then I'd done a few bits and pieces of acting work anyway, so I actually had an agent. So I didn't respond to an advert in the paper like a lot of the other guys did. I sort of had an acting agent who sent me for the audition, and I really wanted it because I really liked the script, and I felt that it was going to be a really interesting program, and I didn't think that anything like that had ever been done before. Surprisingly, really, I think a lot of shows had been made for teenagers, about teenagers. I thought that Skins was new in that regard, so that's why I wanted to be part of it.
What do you miss about Skins?
Because it was my first job, so as an actor, and I guess I miss just the whole experience of just finding out something new, which is always, you know, when you find something new in life and you find out that you really love it, you really enjoy it. I guess the relationship between all of us outside of set hung out after set, so it just wasn't just like this fake relationship on set, it was actually real.
Teve alguma cena no set de Skins que te emocionou muito?
I was really sad in my second series, so series 4, when I found out that Naomi cheated on Emily. That was sad. That was really emotional because me and Kat, everyone in Skins really falls in love with their characters and cares about their characters a lot. So when you have to do things that aren't nice, it affects you as much. Like if your character is sad and you're filming all day and all week, you go home and you're sad.
Queria saber o que você acha que teria acontecido com a vida do Chris se ele não tivesse morrido.
I think along those lines, he'd be doing something that absolutely suited him. I don't see him ever finding himself in a job that he didn't enjoy just to earn money. I think for Chris, life was always going to be, time was always going to be precious. So I think he'd be doing something that made him happy.
Who kisses better, Kat or Jack?
That's a good question. Kat.
Qual foi a sensação de ter beijado o Nicholas?
That was great. Eric Kisser?
Wondering what it's like to act in Game of Thrones.
It's different from anything else I've ever worked on, and mainly because of the size of the thing. A lot of British television and film is usually quite low budget, which means that the shoot days are very busy. You know, you have to try and get as much in as you can because there's not as much money to make stuff with usually in the UK. And something like Game of Thrones comes along, where the budget is like nothing you've ever seen before. And it just means you have a lot more. In TV and film, money is time. So it just meant that we have a lot more time to shoot scenes. And I think it's that attention to detail that makes Thrones stand out from a lot of other TV shows. And also just the size of the sets and the number of characters involved. I mean, I've shot scenes on that before where you're kind of, you know, you're in a purpose-built cave in a studio in Belfast, and there's water running down the sides, and there's two guys having a sword fight with a flaming sword. And it's just, I mean, you're stood there going, I don't know how this is my job, but I like the fact that it is.
Your character influenced so many gays. Are you feel responsible?
As any actor, if you're playing or portraying any role, there's some sort of responsibility in the sense of people may take what you're doing as little. I really wanted Maxi to come across as his sexuality was the most important part of him. It was just who he is. And the best thing about it was that all of his friends were really accepted the fact that he was gay, and it didn't matter. And that's something that I really wanted people who were watching the show to recognize, that it's not a choice. It's not something that somebody wakes up one day and is like, oh, today I'm going to be gay. It's just who they are. It's who when they were born, that's who they are as a person. So yeah, I guess I feel some sort of responsibility trying to get that message across. But I get some incredible letters sent to me about young guys, even ladies coming out, and that I really help them with that. And that makes me feel really, really, really warm inside, and just I feel amazing that I've managed to help a lot of people with that.
Yesterday we were in Sao Paulo doing the other day of the convention, and I had quite a few girls coming up to me and telling me that my storyline had helped them come out to their parents and come out to their friends. And one girl actually almost made me cry, because to have that effect on someone else's life in such a positive way is amazing. I mean, I didn't write the scripts, I just played the character, but there's no words really to describe having someone tell you that you help them that much.
O que você levou do Preach para sua vida?
I think the most enduring and appealing aspect of Chris's character was this idea that he was always optimistic. I enjoyed playing him so much because I felt like he was a character that in the group, when he was amongst his friends, was the life and soul of the party, and he was the most kind of expressive, the most upbeat, the most enthusiastic character out of the group. But then when it got to his episodes, he was the one with the most difficult home life in many ways. He had a lot to deal with. And so playing those two sides of the coin were really interesting for me, but I felt that even with all of that stuff that was going on, I felt that Chris always had a positive view of what was to come. And so I think, for me, someone who personally has had, I have to say, a much more pleasant personal life than Chris probably did. You know, I come from a fairly steady home and, you know, a nice town and have great friends, and so, you know, my problems are nothing compared to what he had to deal with, and I think that's been a lesson for me as well. That's that, you know, no matter how many problems I might think I have, always be optimistic. So I try to be. I'm not always as successful as Chris was at that, but I try and be a positive person.
What Maxi taught Mitch?
Probably accept differences with people.
Bem, pessoal, espero que vocês tenham gostado desse vídeo. Foi realmente um vídeo super diferente, que eu fiquei super feliz de poder trazer esse conteúdo pra vocês. Além disso, eu sou muito fã da série, então pra mim foi surpreendente poder trazer esse vídeo. Então, se você gostou, clica em gostei. Se você é novo por aqui, se inscreve no canal. Esse vídeo é um vídeo do Projeto Cega. Se você ainda não sabe o que é, vai lá no trailer. E então, até amanhã, até o próximo vídeo. Tchau!